Hi, welcome to my new video. As you know already, that wars, whether it's a world war or a war limited to certain areas, war is always a devastating thing. It should be avoided at any cost. Still, we have to talk about wars more frequently nowadays. Actually, we all are in the verge of a third world war. Most of the people, they're afraid of developing the conflicts between Russia, Ukraine, or that Israel, Hamas, everything. It can develop into a world war also. So we all are living under the shadow of such fears. So at this juncture, I would like to share a small piece of knowledge with you. This is about the shortest fought war in the world history. This war happened in 1896, August 27th, and it lasted for just 40 minutes. And the war has been fought between the British and the Sultanate of Zanzibir. This war is known as Anglo Zanzibir War. Zanzibar, it's a island of African shore, and at present it's in the Tanzania. So on those days, that is in 1800, Zanzibar was a very important market of slaves, and it has that name which bring it into the history. So the Zanzibar earlier it was under the control of Oman Sultans. Later, they declared as an independent country and came under the rule of Sultanate of Zanzibar. So at that time, British gave them the protection from outside. That is military protection British has offered, and the Sultanate of Zanzibar was under the protectorship of Britain. So when the Britain is offering the protection, the military aids and everything, there was a agreement in which so many things that rulers of Zanzibar has to have to obey. And one among them was that ruler or the Sultan of Zanzibar should be appointed with the consent of the British. So everything was going on smoothly. In that Sultan Hamid bin Tuwani. He was ruling in 1890s. He was very close with the British, and there was no issues between them, and everything was going on smoothly. So on 25th August of 1896, Sultan Hamad bin Tuwani is found dead in some suspicious circumstances. Anyway, that information has been passed on to the British rulers through their agent, and now the process should be started to find out the next heir to the throne. So actually, there was a nephew of this deceased sultan whom the British favored to be the next sultan. But another nephew called the Sultan Khalid bin Barga, he has taken up the power as Sultan of Zanzibar without the consent of the British. So British was dead against it. Anyway, it was on the same day when the earlier Sultan found dead that the new Sultan, Sultan Khalid bin Bagsha, he took over the power of the Zanzibar Sultanate of Zanzibar. Britain just kept quiet. The next day, that all the ceremonies, everything has been over related to the death of the Sultan. Then the British passed a message to the Sultan Khalid to get out of the throne and get out of the country and hand over the power to their nominee. But Sultan Khalid was in no mood to obey the British because he was very much what you say, attracted to the power. Then the talks went between both the parties, but nothing has found to be fruitful. Meanwhile, I would like to say one more thing. Actually, for the protection of the Sultan and the Sultanate, British has kept an army of around 1500 soldiers. Most of them are residents of Sultan Zanzibir only. They have trained these soldiers and made a battalion with that. So, when all these power exchanges took place, the Zanzibir army also divided into two parts. Almost 5 to 600 soldiers were in favor of Sultan Khalid, while the rest of the soldiers were in favor of British. British has given a last warning that on the 28th August of 1896, sorry, 27th August of 1896, the Sultan Khalid should get out of the palace by morning 9 o'clock. By the time the British mariners they have come to the port, two ships have come, and even that Zanzibar army they had a old Scottish warship which has been awarded by the British only with them. So that warship also, I mean that naval people in that warship also took side by the Sultan Khalid. So they got ready to fight the British sailors. By the time Sultan sent a message to the British to avoid a war, the British told confirmly that there is no other way to avoid the war. Instead, I mean, there is only one way, that he should get out of the palace. But he was not ready for that. Then at exact 9 o'clock, the British started their first shot. It came out of the warship which was waiting in the port. So that Scottish warship of the Zanzibar army started fighting the British, but with a single blast, it went deep inside the sea. Then the British mariners they came on the land. They marched towards the palace. But by the time the Sultan Khalid he smelled the failure or defeat, and he along with his some aides just got out of the palace and they went hiding in Turkey. So the British by around 940, 938, 940, British declared the war is over because they won the war, and they made their favorite person as the next Sultan of Zanzibar. So this is the war of Anglo Zanzibir War, which was 27th August 1896. This is recorded as the shortest fought war in the world history. Thank you.